Some thoughts for today, the 16th Sunday after Trinity. An electric light bulb manufacturer approached the owner of a theatre. He offered the owner free light bulbs for the outside of the theatre to satisfy his own great ambition in life. The owner agreed to take the light bulbs as long as the manufacturer told him what his secret ambition was. The light bulb maker said in reply, "Sure, I've always dreamed of seeing my lights go up in names." T.S. Eliot wrote, "Most of the trouble in the world is caused by people wanting to be important." Also, Josh Billings commented, "Ambition is like hunger. It obeys no law but its appetite." The disciples today want to see their names in lights. Their misplaced ambition gets them into a bit of bother. Jesus and his friends are now heading south towards Jerusalem and the carnage of the cross. Jesus knows where his destiny lies and is well aware of what awaits him in Jerusalem. He knows too that he is held and wrapped in his Father's love. So Jesus wants to use this extended journey to both warn and teach his friends that going to Jerusalem will not be pretty. This was going to be an intensely personal journey, just Jesus and his friends. He wants to travel secretly with no interruption, so by the time they enter the gates of Jerusalem, they would have some understanding of what was happening and why it was happening. Jesus wanted to leave behind hearts on which his words were engraved deeply. But as we can see, Jesus had a lot of work to do with them. He had just told his disciples that he is going to be handed over into the hatred and power of the authorities, who will put him to death. But then, after 3 days, he will rise again. The poor disciples do not have a clue what Jesus is on about. Jesus is talking about danger, death, darkness and destruction, but what are they talking about? This is the question Jesus asks as they rest at a house in Capernaum. There was an awkward silence, a silence of shame, as they had to admit to Jesus that they had been arguing about which one of them was the greatest. They had no defence. So Jesus, the teacher, sits down and gathers them round. They may dream of seeing their name in lights, but this is not how it's going to be. Jesus turns their ambition and thinking upside down. Instead, they must cultivate an ambition to serve. Jesus brings in a child, holds him and says simply, "Anyone who welcomes one of these little children in my name welcomes me, and anyone who welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me." They must be servants and welcome little children. Welcome those who are vulnerable, those who have no influence, those who cannot advance their career, their power or prestige, those, like children, who need things done for them. That is your ambition now, says Jesus, to serve those who are vulnerable and afraid. This is going to be a steep learning curve for the disciples. No adoring crowds, no naming lights, but rather a quiet and gentle service to those in need. They're going to live lives that later on the Apostle Paul would articulate to the people of Philippi when he wrote, "Don't be selfish. Don't live to make a good impression on others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourself. Don't think only about your own affairs, but be interested in others and what they are doing." One day, Jo was asked by a neighbour if he could please drive her son to hospital. Although Jo had other plans, he didn't know how to say no to the mother's desperate plea. So he put the child in his car and started the 30-mile journey. Suddenly the boy turned to Jo and said, "Are you God?" Startled, Jo said, "No." The boy continued, "Only I heard my mum asking God for some way to get me to a doctor. So if you're not God, do you work for him?" "I guess so sometimes," Jo replied. "And now you ask, I'll be doing it a lot more." The vulnerable, the afraid, the needy don't care about our status, but do care about our answer when they ask us, do you work for him? Travel safe, pilgrim.